Hello. Hello, welcome. Welcome to the live stream. How's everybody doing today? I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to do a live stream and we are going to talk a little bit about the market, what I'm thinking, and also things to come as well. So let me just make sure everything's working good and we will get started. Title is random. No, that's correct. Okay. All right. First live stream, so bear with me here. We are going to be doing some different stuff here on the videos. All right, bear with me. Okay, perfect. Perfect. All right, so guys, we got some exciting stuff that I want to go over today with you. Okay, we are going to go over. Thanks for joining too. Also, thanks for being here on a Friday night. It's about 7 o'clock here, wherever you guys are from. Maybe later or earlier. All right, so we're gonna get into Webull here. And I got some thoughts going into this week. We're gonna go over some trades and stuff like that. So guys, all I ask is that you subscribe and smash that like button if you haven't already. And real quick, if you haven't signed up with Moomoo, definitely check that out. Okay, link is in the description. Sign up with Moomoo and start your investing journey. Get 8% earned on your uninvested cash and up to 15 free shares or free stock when you make a deposit and fund the account. Guys, you can get a free share of Tesla or Amazon. Right now they're up $180, I believe. So that is actually an amazing promo right now to have. All right, so moving on. All right, guys, we are going to talk about these monthly paying stocks here. Okay, I have a list of monthly paying stocks. I have 14 right now, and I like to watch them. Now, you can pick one, you could pick five, you could pick 10, however many you want to pick. But what I like to do is look at the percent changes. And when there's a percent change, then you can decide whether to buy, sell, or hold. So, for example, GAIN or Gladstone, ticker symbol GAIN, is on here. Now I'm using Webull, and you can come in if you want. And if you want to add a ticker, just go to up here on the right. We're going to add Gladstone. There is a little add to watch list. We're going to add to monthly paying stocks, and there it is. It just got added here. Okay, let's take a look at this. As you can see, Gladstone has a history of going up and down, back and forth. And as you can see on the RSI indicator, overbought and oversold. And so as you can see, if you started here on the oversold area for about 974, and draw our line right there. I have all this drawn out on Moo as well. Okay, and you're going to draw lines out like that. And we're going to change these colors to indicate our support and resistance levels. Okay, and for all of you guys who don't know what a support and a resistance level is, I can tell you real quick what they are, and I could even show you a picture. Okay, guys, I know it's a live stream. Bear with me here. I'm trying to do the best I can on the first one in a long time. So let's go ahead and look at a really good picture here. I like this one. Sloppy. Very sloppy. Come on. And of course the internet has to be very slow and stupid. It's just the way it has to be. Okay, support and resistance. Come on. Wow. Computer is being very slow because everybody is using the internet, of course. So I'm going to find something simple that's easy to understand. Here we go. All right, perfect. I found it. All right, sorry for the delay. SNR, we're just going to call it SNR, support and resistance. Okay, so let's bring that up. All right, so support and resistance. How to trade with support and resistance right here. So support is what is going to say support the action of the stock from hitting the ground or going farther down. Consider the support as the ground, and you're bouncing, say, a basketball, and the basketball hits the ground and bounces back up. Now, depending on how much momentum and pressure there is, it may shoot up more or less depending on the bounce, the pressure, the buyers, etc. Now, the resistance level, as you can see here, is where it tops out, say like a ceiling. When you can only go so high in the ceiling of your house. Once you touch the ceiling, you can't go any higher than that. That's resistance. You can't push through that house. Now, say you did have enough buying pressure to push through the ceiling and create, say, a hole or a gap, and then that is where you see here the bounce and the push through to make a higher support level. Now, higher support levels and higher resistance levels, or what some traders say higher highs and higher lows, will indicate an upward trend. An upward trend is a good indication that the company is going up. Now let me showcase that to you here. Now this is an upward trend from even the $8 mark where it bottomed all the way through to the $11 mark. That is an upward trend. Hope you guys can see that black line there. Okay, so now this is showing an upward trend. Now when you look in the technicals of it, from October 5th to January 16th, it actually increased in value 24%. Now you can see the 24% right here on this little black dial. It says 5 days, 6-7 bars, plus 0.31, plus 3.47%. Do you see that? Now that plus 0.347% is the return. Now if I go down, obviously you would lose money. Can't necessarily go backwards. You can see some potential, I guess, if you would. But the main point is seeing these indications on the top. So With that said, you can make over 24% in 3 or 4 months. Okay, not bad. That's a good appreciation. Now, not everyone's going to know that with Gladstone specifically. And with that said, we're going to go over how you can play this as well. So now this is just a small time chart of multiple ups and downs. As you can see, there's a trend line here at about the 890, 880 mark, all the way up to roughly, it looked like it peaked out at about 1070, which is a 20% gain right there. 20% there from June to July in 1 month, 20%. Also, this is a monthly paying stock, guys. So as time goes on, this is a monthly paying stock, which means we have the ability to get dividends as well when we hold this through the record date. So there are pullbacks, obviously, right? Let's talk about those. This went up 20%, and then it took a little while for it to descend to another point where we could buy. And that went down about 15, almost 16%. So it went up 20, down 16, up 25, and now it's going to be down. How far down has it gone now? About 12.5%. And now it's making new highs, new higher lows, and new higher highs. We're going to take this trend line, and if it's accurate, it could possibly break through out of the 1116, but I don't believe it will. It may just bounce back off of what? The resistance level. This is the resistance. This is the ceiling where it's going to jump and hit. Now, how much is that? Because we're already here. That's about 8%, 9% up, but about 4 or 5% to our support. So this is about right in the middle. Now, some areas you can grab confirmation of this and, claim confirmation that it is going up. Wait till it breaks the 1060 maybe mark, because 1060 is going to bounce back off of this August area here, August resistance. Okay. And as you can see here, it's actually starting to make a double bottom. And so if it double bottoms, then it has a potential to shoot up. It almost looks like an M. Okay. Now, also, I've been trading this company for quite some time now. So as you can see, it has a trajectory of basically being between $7 and $11 for most of the time. For most of the time. So also, you can't necessarily say that one of these lines is going to bounce on the line. What I'm doing now, especially on this Webull account that I'm charting on, usually I use Thinkorswim platform, but basically this right here is our zone. See where it's bounced on this zone? Now it's trying to create a new zone here. But it doesn't. It does seem to be holding, which can be a new support level, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. So with that said, we have 2 shares of this right now in Webull, but if I take you over to Robinhood, we actually have 30 shares in Robinhood doing the exact same thing. And we're going to take you to that real quick, because I put my money where my mouth is, guys. Okay, I'm not just talking about it. We're actually doing it. We're trading it. We're living it. Okay, there we go. So it's after hours. Don't mind the black screen. It kind of goes fit with the style. The money never sleeps background looks great with the black. Okay, so average cost 1027. I have 30 shares with a market value of 308. So my plan here is to ride this wave. Do you see this right here? So from February 7th up to now, it's had a upward trend. It's trending up. Now it has a potential to go up to 1117 because it was previously at about 1119. Doesn't mean it will. And remember, this is not financial advice. I can't tell you what to buy, hold, or sell. But what I can show you is what I'm doing. So if you take 30 shares at my average cost of 10.27, and say you hit 11.27, right? It's 7 cents above this, but just theoretically, that's one whole dollar on 30 shares. That's $30 in possibly the next week or so. Now they have a record dividend payout coming up, and it is a monthly paying dividend. So let me bring that up as well. Dividend. Their record date is on the 20th, and Monday is the 19th. But the stock market is closed on the 19th because of President's Day. Yeah, I know, it's closed. So, with that said, and guys, I just made a video about all this. So if you're just joining into the live stream, I do have a video going over this a little bit more in detail today. I just released that video today. But beside the point, so here's Gladstone. They have a 9.62% dividend yield, which they're paying $1 per share a year. So technically, I could make $30 if it goes up to 11. I could also make $30 every single year by owning these 30 shares every year for the rest of my life. As long as Gladstone Capital exists, they keep paying out a 10% dividend yield, and and that's it, right? So their next dividend payment is February 29th, but in order to own this, you had to have bought this company, unfortunately, today. So for some of you joining the live stream now at 7 o'clock at night, it's too late. You can possibly try to buy Tuesday morning, but what I've noticed with these ex-dividend dates is they will actually record who owns the company or who is the actual shareholders, like early in the morning, sometimes 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., and that could be before the market even opens. The market don't open till 6:30, 7:30, depending on where your time zone is. And so therefore you would not get that ex-dividend date. It would not be recorded, and you would not get the payout. Now, don't fret or have FOMO, fear of missing out, because you can get a dividend yield every single month from this company. As you can see, they've been paying out consistently for a very long time. Now, they've also increased their dividend payments. An annual 3-year dividend growth rate of 7% on top of a 10% yield on top of, appreciation. Now, at some points in time, this company can appreciate anywhere from $9 to $11, which is roughly 15% appreciation. So you're getting a 15% appreciation if you play the cards right, 10% dividend yield if you learn how to dividend capture the way I am. Also watch that video talking more about that. I'll leave a card above once this finalizes, but basically showcasing that you can put in the $300 today, capture this dividend, ride the wave up. You don't have to own it for the entire month. Sell it, and then you can go back to using that money for whatever you need. It's fantastic. I think it's a great way to do dividend capturing strategies, and why not, right? Saying my bit rate is lower than the recommended, so I'll have to adjust that accordingly on the next one. Okay, so that is how I'm going to be charting and playing GLAD. I typically will look at 1 to 3 companies, and actually, I'll play 1 to 3 companies a day. Maybe day trades, usually about 1 to 3 day trades, and then I'll have multiple swing trades. Sometimes anywhere from 5, 6 to a dozen swing trades at once, depending on how much capital I have freed up. And then I will also be able to do these dividend captures as well. So with that said, we have some other undervalued stocks right now. Anything promising? Let's see, JD. JD is super underbought, undervalued, but I would definitely do my research on this one. I can chart it if you want. Leave a comment below if you want me to chart this. And if there's any other companies that you want me to chart. I haven't really updated the undervalued stocks, but I do have 129 swing trades here. See how many I was looking at when we first started? I was charting like so many of these. And see, this one's a perfect example. Charting it, watching it, what is it gonna do? It kind of didn't do neither one of what I wanted it to do. I thought it was gonna go down, possibly up. If it went up more than what I expected here, then I would have played it because it would have been higher volatility, more volume. But as you can see, there wasn't much volume here at all compared to here, where we got this huge candle right here. And then we have this gap up, but with this long red candle showing a downtrend. So not much there at the moment. I have played it and made some money on it, which is awesome, but not playing it for the last since the 29th, since January, basically. Charting this, as you can see, it has some really good potential. It's going along with what I'm charting here, which is great. I did this in January, so it would have been back here when I charted this. Right where these lines are is where I like to showcase where I charted them. Because, why is that important? It shows that this system does work, right? Here's another one, AMD. AMD's ridiculously overbought. But as you can see, the trend line here back 10/26 in October is when it really started making its true ascension. Okay. Oh, I failed to read what that was. I think it said 80%. 91% in roughly 3 months. What do you think about that? You could have doubled your money in 3 months' time with AMD. Microsoft is another one. Google right here. See how it has this huge drop. Now we are going to be trying to play this. I'm surprised I haven't charted it on this one yet. Looks like some of our past resistant line is right here. I'd say anywhere from this area. And I wish I could do a thicker line on here. If anyone knows how to do that on Webull, let me know. But that's our entry level, right in between this area here. Drawings, parallel. Yeah, see, I know maybe one of these has a filler. Anyways, and then let's see, what's another one here? It looks like our resistance level is going to be kind of like right in this area here. And they did break it, but I did not make this line sooner. We're just kind of putting it in here. It's like about right there. Every time something touches in this zone, okay, every time something touches in this support zone, it bounces up, okay? And I could have put another zone down here a little closer to what's happening. But as you can see, it followed this for a little while. Then it hit the resistance levels, then the support, went back up to resistance and kind of stayed up on the resistant line, and then took a huge gap down past, which showcased that this would be a nice move to make. Now it's oversold. This would have been a great opportunity to buy. Okay, check this out. Showing confirmation that it's going back up at 121, could have made about 15% in about 26 days. So 15% in 30 days. However you want to look at that, that's, you know, half a point a day. If you know, that sounds good to you, great. Now you could have also waited because there's a bigger trajectory here. Could be up 25% in 3 months. So a little bit more than a half a point a day. That's almost 1% a day. Okay, but it broke that trajectory and had this huge gap down, which what happened the last time there was a gap down back in October, it went all the way down to 120. Okay, so it actually lost roughly 7% on the gap, but 12% on the day. Okay, we're not going to keep that there because we want to showcase that gap. So 12%. Did it lose 12% here? About 6 or 7 on the gap, and almost 12%. Okay, so it does follow quite a bit of a trend line. Okay, so now what's next? Well, we can't necessarily be oops, have I been showing you guys? Oh no, we're good. So what happens next? Okay, I don't know that for sure. Nobody knows for sure. But with what this is saying is we had that pullback here of the almost 12%. So now it has this descent back up. Now, this is the highest it's ever been, okay, because it's Google. Oh no, actually, right here at 151.55 would also be another major resistance level of support. So 151.55 right there. Okay, that's going to be like our golden error bar. Let's go like that weird color there. Hope you guys can see that. To about where? To about right here. Right? I can even go a little bit lower to there, right? So in that zone, that is going to be where it also has a potential to bounce because that's the resistance level. Now it already made it. What happened, guys? It bounced off of that level. That's why there is a level there, right? Support and resistance can be your best friend if you learn how to play the game. Now look at the volume. There's huge volume here because why? It's telling a story. The story says in the past, in February of last year, actually, it looks like even a little bit longer than that, maybe even 2022, it did the same thing. It hit 155 and went all the way down to $83. Now, I'm not saying it will go down to $83, but what I'm saying is it does have the potential, but it also has the potential to hit newer highs, being Google. Okay? So, what is the future for Google? Well, we're not really too sure. And I hope this graph kind of showcases and gives you a rough idea of what is to come, or at least what you know now as is the past, right? And how to basically set up your trend lines and stuff like that. Now, this is indicating on the RSI that it is super overbought. It's at a 35. I'm sorry, oversold. It's showing that it's extremely oversold. Okay, 50s between 70 and 30 is about 50, it's saying. I'm not sure where they get that math from, but it's 50. And 70 is clearly way oversold, or I'm sorry, way overbought, okay, which is where you're going to want to sell. And when it's oversold is where you're going to want to buy, okay? So this may be a good entry level if it bounces off. Because remember, it can still go down to 127. It could also go as low as 118. But theoretically, because it already has a good trajectory of being up, let's get rid of that. I cannot see it going extremely down, especially seeing that it is Google. It's a pretty solid company. That's another thing that I'll say is that it's good to do this with solid companies that are going to continue to move forward and go up in value over time. So two things can happen, guys. It can either continue its descent, okay, and it could bounce off of these previously lows right here, about a 3% loss. Let me change the color on that. Okay, 3% loss right here. Now, it could also stay in this little range because this is a good little range to buy, or not necessarily to buy. This is a range where it is there are buyers. Okay, there are buyers and there are sellers. Now, this is where it's oversold and people will bounce back up and buy. So you have a potential of it going down 8%, possibly only going down and hitting this low here about 3.5%. So that's technically where you'd want to put your stop loss, let's say, okay? We don't want to go any more than about 3 to 5%. And then what is your goal take? Well, on this, you might be able to get probably that 9 or 10%, right? But it's also Google. So if it breaks, it could actually go a little bit higher, right? It does have the potential to go higher. It is Google, after all. I mean, who knows how many points you can get off of that. I wouldn't say be greedy on it, right? And this probably has some kind of a weird trajectory, probably more like that, just a very slow upward trend line like that or something, right? I can even base it off where it's going right now at this one. If that's the case, we can take this trend line from 83 and just chart all the way up as high as we want, where this is showing it's going to be, right? Basically just chart this like that, straight across, there it is. So this line should go with it, right? Theoretically. Will it? Well, we don't know for sure. And will I ever find a good colored line that works on this? Probably not. Orange is too close to red. I guess purple. Purple will have to be it, even though it's like a black. What about blue? We'll do blue. Okay, blue's its trajectory is what it's kind of following right now. It has the potential to go up to 170, 175, right? Will it? There's no way to know. Okay, and those are my plays for January. Like BA, this might be a good play too. Look at this. But it also looks like it's playing right within the buy and sell, right? There's like not a lot's going on. We need to see some major action, some moves before we actually play this thing, right? Because too much is going on there. Whoops. Was it green? Yeah. And I really wish we could do zones on here. That'd make it easier. Because these two red lines, that's a zone. They're bouncing, hitting off of this zone. And then they're bouncing and hitting off of, it looks like about right here. Let's say about right here. That was a good level for them to bounce. So you have your support zone, and then you have your resistance zone. But it also broke into a higher zone than this. So you can go higher up, right? Because it bounced off of this. That'll be more like our gold zone, right? Anywhere around this mark. So definitely has a potential of, well, what? Going from where it is now at 203 and hitting this as low as 5% and going up to maybe 8 or 9 with the bounce to 30 to 18% to possibly even 30%, right? Only risking roughly 3 to 5%. So you're risking 3 to 5% on here, on this trade, on Boeing, BA, to possibly make 30%. Okay, but in order to do that, okay, first it can't go past this. This has to confirm that it's going to hold here on support. It also has to break through this resistance. If it could break through this resistance level, then it'll definitely, not definitely, but it could potentially go up higher. Now you also have to make sure that you take into account this low as well, the 176 low. That is a very low that you do not want to be, in, okay? That's why it's good to have a stop loss, and that's why stop losses are critical. Because what could happen right here? You don't put a stop loss at your 3 to 5% like we said. You wait, you're down 13, 15, 20% and on, right? We don't want that, so make sure you use a stop loss. All right, how are we doing so far? We're at 35 minutes or so on the live stream. Looking pretty good. Not sure what happened here. Let's see. I'm gonna go over to the chats and see if there's anybody on, any questions, anything like that. Now there are many more here for January, and as you can see, it's almost too many to even keep track of. So what I'm going to do is consolidate a lot of these and put them into a different chart. See, I also have 214, which we had some pretty good plays on 214. RCA playing this from the $8. It was roughly about $9 up. Made 20% on this one. This one was awesome. RCM. Definitely a good one to play. So that was a good one. And then BHAT, we were looking at it, but decided not to go for it. HO, now this one would have been a great one to get with, but unfortunately, they had some kind of weird suspension on it. Right around this mark when I wanted to get in, it just was not happening. I'm not sure what, but boom, it spiked up so much here, and I could not play this at all. So whatever, it is what it is. TTD, or the trade desk, I also seen this morning shoot up pretty good. Again, there just wasn't anything I can do. As you can see, the market opened right here, and it was already way up here, overbought. Okay, so this is a good area to speak on real quick, because you do not want to, one, the fear of missing out is it sucks, guys. Okay, there's too many trades and there's too many things going on for you to hit every single play. As you've seen, I had like 15 or 20 on that January watch list, and I missed half of them. I think I made 5 plays for that week in January. February 1st, I had about a dozen. So that wasn't working out very well either. I did about 2 of those plays. Now on the 14th, here we go. We're watching some. We're getting it a little bit smaller. We're condensing it. And check this out. This play here. Now it bounced up 17%, 22%. Okay, 22% pre-market. We're literally talking between 9:30. Let's move this over. 9:30 when it opened to 9:34. I mean, we're talking 5-minute chart. Okay, 5 minutes. And it shot up 18%. Now, right here, people may assume it's going to continue to shoot up. But what happened? This candle right here, these 2 candles, this shows indecisiveness in the market. And this has a straight down, which showcase that it's probably going to be going down and showing a downward trend, which this candlestick did exactly that. Downward trend. There it is. Okay. So most people would say, oh, wow, it's up 17%. It has the potential to go up. Let's buy in more. And it didn't. Look at this. It basically just flatlined. Here's the resistance. Or I'm sorry, the support levels. And we're going to draw those in real quick. And I hope you guys are finding value in this. If you are finding value in it, please go ahead and smash that like button for me. It means a lot if you would. And right here, I mean, this is just nothing. Flat. This thing is flatter than flat, guys. Ain't nothing going on with this company. Okay. So that's how it's probably going to have a trajectory. Now, you can do a couple things with this for maybe the next week. Now that I have these trend lines set, I should really be plotting this on a larger scale. This is a very small scale for a very small day, because at a bigger picture, look how much swing this thing has. Okay, its actual highs are around 114, and then its actual lows, it looks like, literally, it looks like this zone right here. This is the zone of support. Right in this area, it seems like where it's bouncing and everything's buying and hitting right off of this mark. So in my eyes, this thing is way overbought, right? We're just going to wait and see what it does over the next couple of days. And just wait and see what happens, okay? It's extremely overbought. But that's how you would basically chart that. This one in NeoG, see how it's going up? Not a good trajectory there. It's way oversold. So I may look at this a little bit more. Lift, same thing. It's going down, but we did make money. We made money on this smallest little candle right here on the 16th. We made 5% profit. 5% profit on a 1% candle somehow. I must have gotten just a bit lower than where I just entered that. But it was about 5% profit on that little tiny candle right there on February 16th, even though this has a trajectory of a downward trend. Look at that. That is a downward trend, guys. We don't want to trade that. But it did have a small area that it bounced where the support level should be. Now, there's a lot of levels on this one, so again, be very cautious with high volatility stocks like this. Which brings me to the 2020 lineup, guys. We're going to do something a little bit different, and we're going to be ending this live stream on a good note here. First one that we've done ever. Okay. But basically what we're going to be doing is trying a strategy that basically Ricky Gutierrez, he's another trader, YouTuber that records everything. He basically has been doing this for a very long time now. He started with DGAS and UGAS, and basically they're inverted stocks. So when one goes up, one goes down, and when one goes up, the other one goes down. They're just inverted, right? Well, recently I've noticed that some past videos of his, he's basically making a killing trading SQQQ and TQQQ. Now, what are the differences? Well, the SQQQ, think of S as short, because that's what it stands for, the ProShares Ultra Pro Short, QQQ. They are shorting the overall market. So when the overall market is going down, SQQQ will go up. Okay, so that's not necessarily the best thing to trade long term, especially with these gaps here, man. They could just destroy an account. Now, TQQQ is the exact opposite of SQQQ. TQQQ follows the market as a whole for the long run. Okay, it's betting for the market. And as you can see here, it's been a little bit choppy. If we go to the 5-year, it's going along with it. But what we want to do is catch these plays. See how it's trading up? Again, trend lines, guys. Trend lines, 780 back in 2020 and went all the way up to $89.60. That's 1,000% profit in about 2 years. Now, what did it do here? It went down, all the way down. Well, that's not even a good trend line. We're gonna clean that up a little bit. It went all the way down from the 86.90, and it looks like it's still somewhat down. Is that 13? Is that lower? 12 to 12. It's actually more cut. There we go. Okay. And I missed how much that was. We're gonna do it again. 82%. So it went up 1,000%, but then down 82%. Isn't that kind of crazy? That's crazy, right? Now, why is that? And how can we make money off of it? Well, SQQ did something very similar. Let's go to the 5-year. We're going to do 5-year on both. SQQ did the same thing. Now, look where this company was at. 469,000. That's just crazy. Okay. Let's go more around 2020, because this was showing 2020 as far as 18. So this is showing as far as 18 as well. So as you can see here, when it was at 1955, this was actually down to about 7. They started betting against the market and losing significantly because they betted that the market was going to go down, and it didn't. Okay, so they've had a significant loss. So be very careful with these type of trades. That's down 100%. You could have lost 100% of your portfolio. What we're going to do is take these smaller days. Okay, we're going to take days like this. Let's go to a 1 hour or even like a 5 minute. So let's go one day, 5 minute, and 1 day, 5 minute. And again, these are just inverse. They're opposite. So when one goes up, one goes down. That's really all you need to know. So what does that mean for us now? Well, here you go. Here's a good play. This is about $11. for the support, and roughly between like 11 and some change on the resistance. Let me draw that in a little bit more here. That is a huge area of resistance, and it has a very small area of support. How do we play this? What's way overbought? As you can see here, it's overbought. So we're going to wait for this to come down. And I don't like to short positions. Most of my trading platforms, I just don't like to short. That's not what I do right now. I play the long runs. So we won't be shorting a short of the market, which is opposite, which is actually positive. So instead of betting against something, we're just going to play with the market. See? Okay. So now we're going to go with the market. We're going to go as low as here for support to about here. It's a big support level. And then we're going to bring in our resistance level. Okay. If you guys want to learn more about how to do this, or you want to learn more about charting, definitely leave a comment, and I can do more videos like this and showcase more stuff. So as you can see here, it seems to bounce a lot of support around that like kind of $57 mark, and it bounces off the ceiling at about the $59 mark. Now you're like, $2, that's not really a big deal. What's $2? Well, guys, $2, if I change my color again, is a lot more when you use contracts, when you buy more shares, when you do options trading, stuff like that. And I know this is an investing for beginners channel, but eventually most of you will graduate into doing something more than just beginner investing. Okay. Once you have the basics, you can move on to some other things. So it's at 57.41. So say we get in, it shows confirmation. You get in at 57.50 because nothing's perfect. You have the potential to lose about, say, a half a point to 1%. Okay. 1% is not too bad. That's pretty great for a trade. Okay. Now, what if you risk the 1%, right? Because that's a pretty good trade for me. And you get about 3. So that's a 1 to 3 ratio. Okay. 3% is not a heck of a lot, but it is if you have enough shares. Okay. So you're risking 1 to 3. So if we put in $100, your risk would be, say, about $10 to make about $30. So not too bad. Okay, not too bad. Quick $30, some simple math. Good risk to reward, you know, not too crazy. And you have the potential to do this every single time. From here to here, it's 3%. From roughly here to here, almost 3%, it's 2.5. From this low to this high, it's roughly 3%. And from here to here is about 1.5, almost 2%. Okay. Now look at these trend lines. It's also making an M, which is a good indication that what's going to happen. It's going to follow through this trend line and make a new lower low. See that M right there? And that's basically what it's going to do over and over and over every single time. And it's going to keep testing this. So like if this would have broke this, it would have broke down here more. But it didn't. It kind of consolidated, went straight, and then it had a really significant break down, right? So that's how we can play on this one. So I'm actually going to set an alert. We're at 57 and some change. So we're going to create an alert. If the price moves above, what did I say earlier? I think I said 57.50. I may get on board. But see, because this is downward, I may just wait for confirmation when it hits one of these lows. So 57.50 would showcase that it's going up. But I'm going to put another one below 56. Well, first 57. Okay. If it drops below 57, which is 41 points, here it'll alert me. That's pretty much down where the bounce level is going to be. And that's where I'm going to have good indication for Monday. Now, going over to SQQ, what are your thoughts on this? Well, if the other company, okay, if we have an M going this way, then would you suggest maybe an M going this way and maybe possibly breaking out up? It is possible, but we won't know until this part happens. And when that does, you can definitely take advantage. Again, 3%. And you wait for it to come down, 3%. And this didn't quite go up, again, about 1.5 points, but that's exactly what it did on the inverse of what we're looking at now. So it has two things can happen. It can go down to this new lower low and then break and then just keep going, right? I actually showcase that on a better line. Could go here and then just keep breaking out, or it has a potential of bouncing and hitting this resistance or ceiling and going back down. Now, when this does go back down, TQQQ will go up. And that's basically how you can play two different inverse companies at the same time. Now, there is another one. It's JNUG and JDST. They do the exact same thing that I showcased. One is for gold and one is against gold. JNUG is a daily junior gold miners bull 2 times ETF. And the JDST is a miners bear 2 times ETF. And if you guys want to see me plot that, I can plot that for you. Just leave a comment below and I can do that. I think that's where I'm going to end the live stream today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in on a Friday. It looks like we got quite a few people watching us today, which is awesome. Thank you for joining. I'm possibly going to be doing these on Friday nights, or we'll try to adjust it accordingly to fit our viewers, who are you, and fit your schedule better. So yeah, with that said, we will see you in the next one. Don't forget to sign up with Moomoo, and thanks for watching.